Home all. It is Monday, and it is time for 10 Minutes of Truth with Supermex. So, been off for a little bit on hiatus, means elsewhere, doing other things, but again, internalizing, reading a lot, sifting through information, listening to a lot, taking information from a variety of different sources and sides. Unfortunately, we have a lot of sides. And sifting through those things to get to objective and scientific facts and truth before making my decisions on my commentary or my decisions on my beliefs and what I put out to you in this form here on a show. So in that time, there's been quite a bit. I mean, we're quite literally at, a pandemic that is not going away and that has been with us, and that I will say directly and unequivocally, there's no argument here, that we have failed in a variety of capacities, and you can Mickey Mouse and tiptoe around how or what, but the bottom line is we have failed as a country to address, diminish, dissipate, and destroy a virus that is quite literally decimating large amounts of our people. I don't want to hear about percentages. Bottom line, it's a lot of people, a lot of Americans that are dead that could have been prevented. Okay, so drop that on the table. That's just fact. Argue with what you want. I don't care. That's more a reflection of your argument than my science. Okay? So before we get into tonight's show, we're going to get up here in a second, but tonight's show will be something that has been comprehensive, and me internalizing information and making lucid decision on what my comments would be and my belief would be at this point in time, based off of months of watching, reading, listening, sifting through information, getting to things that have been hidden or not covered, or that have flown below the radar. And in some cases, as a topic and as a whole, this is something that has been there for quite literally our entire existence as a country and beyond. And it won't be exactly what you're thinking right now. And that's why you come to me, to elucidate you on something maybe you're missing, but that I will put in your face in a factual and honest way. So before we get started, let's get down to the ugly and the business. Statistics. As of right now, on this metric, we have currently 138, I think it's just at about 140,000 American deaths due to coronavirus. Some of you, as is your wont and your right to do so, will disbelieve the number, but I don't think any fool is going to tell me that a lot of people have not died. You want to Mickey Mouse the numbers? Oh, it's not quite 130, maybe it's 100, maybe it's 80. American lives. Grow the hell up. Is that crystal clear enough for you? American job loss, I believe, and we're going to work on this, but I believe this number is actually higher. I think we're at 11 to 12%. Numbers are fiddling, as is wont, when it comes to federal government and Mickey Mousing and finessing the truth. I believe that we are over 10%, 11% in American job loss. That means that over 300 million Americans, 10% is at least 30 million. So we're in that neighborhood of job loss, over 10%, probably at 11 or 12. Hopefully it gets better. I really believe that, and I really want that. I'm hoping it gets better. American debt. And I absolutely, with crystal clarity and 100% certainty, know that that's not going to get better. Let's make clear here. That's not going to get better. American debt is not going to disappear overnight because this administration has done absolutely nothing to correct it. And at a time when we're facing an emergency and a crisis, scientifically in the form of a pandemic, and economically in the form of job loss and shutting down of business and economy, that's not going to get better. This $26.5 trillion debt is not going to get better. It's only gotten worse. And every president comes in and says they're going to do something about it. Well, this one didn't do jack either. And he ain't going to be able to do a damn thing now that we're in the middle of this pandemic. So internalize those numbers, remember them. They're facts. And as my homie John Adams says, facts are stubborn things. Facts indeed are stubborn things. No matter how much we wish or want them away, paraphrasing here, they will not simply dissipate or disappear like a miracle. Play on words, pun for you. See if you got that. Okay, so down to the business of the show. For those of you that are in group and that have seen what I posted earlier today, this may be my most significant show, at least in scope, when it comes to a hidden sector segment, a large minority majority that has been silent, and it's not what you think. Love playing with you, cognitively, of course. So tonight, as I've heard repeatedly and repetitively over the last 2, 3, 4 years, and definitely in a cacophony over the last month or two since the death of George Floyd and the resulting protests and movement in the streets by young people, minorities, and others, and a call for justice in terms of Black Lives Matter. Now let's put this on the table and make it simple for all sides to understand with crystal clarity. Again, Black Lives Matter. Absolutely. I affirm and attest. Absolutely. Some cannot say that. Our vice president was put on the spot and was asked multiple times if he could just say the damn words. And with blatant, if not overt, and simple cowardice, he could not. He gave the reporter, the questioner, about 5 pounds of word salad that amounted to nothing but an empty stomach in response. He did not answer the damn question. He danced around it. He could not say Black Lives Matter. I can. I'm not a black man or a black woman, but I can say it. The refrain, if not the pejorative response on the part of most people that cannot say the words Black Lives Matter, really simple. We all know what it is. All lives matter, correct? And therein lies the nuance and the subtlety and the disinformation, misinformation, and outright BS in a response. Who is going to say that all lives do not matter? No one that is reasonably humanity-based. I'll say it. All lives matter. See how easy that is? When you're intellectually honest, you have nothing to hide. Black lives matter. I affirm and attest. All lives matter. I affirm and attest. Everybody clear now? Everybody with me? So the rhetorical question, do all lives matter? Do they? Really? Rhetorical question. The answer is an obvious yes. But I'm going to run you through me in a different intellectual spirit. We're going to find out if all lives matter. Let's just do it. First image. This young lady is named Vanessa Guillen. Say her name. It's really easy. Vanessa Guillen. She was murdered. Fort Hood, still investigating. And largely, this young lady, pretty little thing, young girl, service member, next image. Service member. Yes, she wears my uniform, our uniform. She serves this country. She took an oath to defend and affirm this Constitution. And she was murdered in that uniform. And largely unheard of, swept under the rug. And still to this day, not everything is known. Say her name, Vanessa Guillen. Do not all lives matter? Once again, rhetorical question. The answer should be an obvious and resounding yes. Correct? Stay with me now. It's easy. Come to my side. Come to my side. Come to the brown side. See how that works? White, black, you guys are all caught up in that? White to black, why don't you stop in the middle? Right here. See how I do that? Moderation and honesty brings all of that together. White to black, no stop at brown? Oh, no. You're going to stop here for a little bit because you're watching right now. Next image. The young gentleman you see here is Carlos Ingram Lopez. 1 month before George Floyd was murdered in the streets like an animal in broad daylight for the world to see, this young man, a month before, was murdered in his garage, in a garage. He was intoxicated, high, but was brought down by multiple police officers, put down on the ground, knees on, it wasn't a choke, but knees on the body, massive weight on top of the body, and the young blood right here with that little child. Next image, please. Good looking young dude. He's an American, damn it. He's an American. You know what he said as he was being put down by police officers in Tucson, Arizona? I need some water. I can't breathe. Exact words. He said he needed water and that he could not breathe. That was 1 month before George Floyd's incident in the streets of Minnesota. To consider. And we didn't know about this one either until recently. Do black lives matter? Do white lives matter? Do all lives here matter? Rhetorical question. The answer is a simple and resounding yes. Now stay with me. See what we're doing here? Yes. Get over your hate and your anger and your divisiveness. Stay with me now, because I'm going to bring you along for the ride. Next image, please, KP. Yeah. Forgot about these? I didn't. I haven't forgotten at all. Do you think I wouldn't say something? Because I'm all-American? I'm saying something because I am all-American. Blatantly so. Blatantly so. This isn't American to me. This here. Hordes of people in cages, caged like animals, quite literally. Not a whole lot of PPE there, is there? Think about that. Next image. Same. Women, children, caged like animals. And we don't even know the full extent to how the virus is affecting these people that are in these cages. We have no clue. And unfortunately, and sadly, and disgustingly, in many ways, as Americans, we don't fully consider what the hell is going on over there because we got so much else going on. There's so much news. Yeah. Do they matter? The answer is a simple and resounding yes. Next image, please. Yeah. That's about as humanity-filled as it gets. A little girl laying next to her parent in a cage. In a cage. I think what is astounding to me most is that when I hear the refrain, the pejorative refrain, filled with contempt, that all lives matter, and not all of you do it, but a good chunk of you do. Those of you that do, all lives matter. You really don't give a damn about other lives. You're just using it as a contemptive return to Black Lives Matter. Because if all lives mattered, do not these lives matter also? Where are my fellow Catholics and Christians? Should I quote scripture to you and read you the Word of God and the Word of Jesus? Because that ain't Christian to me. That ain't Christian. And if you think that is, keep burying your head in the sand and feeling good about going to your church on Sunday while denying that this exists and is happening right now on our watch at the border. Next image, please. Now bear in mind, having said all of that and presented all of these factual items for you to digest and to understand and hopefully to act upon, if not speak freely and loudly, check out the homes here. Look at this guy. This is 4th of July, not that long ago. All right, this is the 4th of July. And young brother's up there proudly, blatantly holding that flag up because he believes in the American ideal. He believes that America is the greatest country on the planet while looking straight homeboy. You gotta love that stuff, man. Absolutely do. I could be Supermex and yet so blatantly and honestly all-American that it is a conundrum set on a continuum wrapped in my own personal little enigma. That is where I am at. And that is where this guy is at. Blatantly all-American. Even while we witness and draw attention and avert our eyes to the lack of humanity that we have to brown people in this country, in addition to others. Yeah, getting the tone and the tenor now? Maybe. Last image, please. And there you go. Read that. This is about as simple as it gets. It asks the question that I posit you tonight. Do all lives still matter? Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you guys that like tossing those words out, all lives matter, all lives matter. Do they? Do all lives still matter? Hey, I'm just asking for kids that are in cages. That's about as lucid and as honest a statement and question that you're ever going to see regarding brown folk in this country. And bear in mind, when I say brown folk, I also include my indigenous roots. I have family and a background that is native to this continent and this country before it was a country. So I speak for all my native homies too, because I'm part of that. Okay? But I want you to really, really consider this question before I wrap up with you tonight. Do all lives still matter? Because I'm asking for kids in the cages, because that's going on right now in the midst of a pandemic that is also ravaging those people in those cages. And do you really, really believe? Do you want to believe? Do you want to convince yourself and tell yourself the lie that they're being cared for properly when we can't even take care of our own damn people out in the country normally? Seriously, ask yourself the damn question, which I'm leaving to you. Again, a final thought with a rhetorical flourish. Next time you say all lives matter, consider your damn words. Consider your damn words. And I'll be the first to say it. Black lives matter. I agree 100%. All lives matter. I agree 100%. So America, start acting like it, damn it. Start acting the way this country was intended from its beginning and its inception. That's something for you to consider. Last point, this show in particular is directly given to and dedicated to Moises Hernandez, a young blood that's been hounding me for months to speak and say something on this particular topic and this particular issue. Brown folk being killed, brown folk being murdered, brown folk at the border dying in numbers that we're not even aware of through lack of care and lack of humanity and lack of Christianity. I owe this one to young Moises because he pressed me and he flat out told me, "You're Supermex. When you speak, people listen." And I could not in good conscience not speak on this particular item for more than the obvious reason. I'm going to say it again. I'm so blatantly all-American, some of you can't even understand it. Yet I'm uniformly, unilaterally, and definitely all homeboy too. That's the beauty of America. That is what we are. Digest, internalize, go back and watch this show again. Make yourself think. Force yourself, challenge yourself to face yourself in the mirror and ask that question. Do all lives really matter? I'll see you next week.